Respiration. Cells store and use energy. They generally store energy in the form of glucose, which is a sugar. And when cells need energy, they break down that glucose and release it. They release the energy. The process by which cells break down simple food molecules and release the energy they contain is called cellular respiration. Because cells need a constant supply of energy, the cells of all organisms carry out respiration continuously. The process of respiration can be expressed in a chemical equation. Here is the chemical equation. You should recognize carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay. You should also recognize water, right? And carbon dioxide, and just plain oxygen, right? And this is a glucose. This is a sugar. Respiration is a complex two-stage process. The first stage happens in the cytoplasm. Glucose molecules are broken into smaller molecules. In this stage, oxygen is not involved in the process and only a small amount of energy is released. The second stage happens in the mitochondria. Small molecules are broken down into even smaller molecules. This reaction requires oxygen and a large amount of energy is released. The products of respiration are carbon dioxide and water. That means the products of respiration, that means like the waste, what comes from respiration, is carbon dioxide and water. Some cells get energy without oxygen using a process called fermentation. Fermentation provides energy for cells without using oxygen. When oxygen is not available in cells, fermentation takes place instead of respiration. Some single-celled organisms live where there is not oxygen. These cells might be found deep in the ocean or in the mud of lakes and swamps. There are two main types of fermentation: alcoholic, which is important in baking of bread, the bubbles in bread, and brewing bubbly alcoholic drinks. The bubbles come from carbon dioxide. And lactic acid, when cells run out of oxygen. Lactic acid fermentation happens in cells when they use up oxygen faster than it can be replaced. For example, muscle cells during a workout. So this particular picture shows glucose or sugars and air going into the runner, and carbon dioxide coming out, and energy as an output of the air and oxygen and glucose, and water in the form of maybe sweat, okay, or water vapor from breathing. This is how it happens at the cellular level. So this would be the cell membrane. Glucose comes in stage 1 and breaks down into smaller molecules, which gives off a little bit of ATP energy. In the second stage, oxygen reaches the mitochondria and ATP it's broken down even smaller, and the ATP energy is released, okay? What's left is carbon dioxide and water as waste products.